makes sense, you see, because Maldives and Sri Lanka are tourist destinations. 23% of the entire population of South Asia has been vaccinated. My god, look at the gap. Seems like Maldives started way earlier, but fast forward, it starts to skyrocket. Alright, so let's begin the visualization. So we will open Tableau and we will import. But before we import, we have to remember that Tableau only allows Excel workbooks. It doesn't allow CSV. So the data that we downloaded was in CSV format, so we have to turn those into Excel workbooks. So we'll go to where our files are. We will take primary first. It has the cases and dates, so obviously we're going to use that. So let's save that as primary, but as an Excel workbook. There we go. Alright, next we will take vaccinations, another very important number, and we'll save that as a workbook. So before we begin our visualization, I want to create two exports to take to Tableau that is going to help with our visualization. The first one is we're going to take the vaccinations and also the mortality rate. So we're going to take a sort of aggregate number of everything from the countries out. Just exports for visualization. We'll take aggregate numbers by country. Use COVID. We're gonna specify the database we're using today, and then we will start. We will select the location. Next we will take the total deaths, total cases, then total deaths, total vaccinations, total people fully vaccinated, I would say. So we'll take it from a different table. These will go from G. Alright, M. Alright, so V, people fully vaccinated. We name these as cases, these as deaths, and this as full vaccinations. We will also need the population. As population. Take this from M, the location, and also the population also from M. That'll be enough for us. These are like the main figures that I aim to visualize in the Tableau dashboard. So it's from main as M, joining with vaccinations as V, on m.date equals v.date, oopsie, and m.location equals v.location. And we're gonna group by location, which is the country name, and we're gonna order by, once again, the country name, and we're gonna specify this, taking this from the main table. There we go, there's our query. Run it, and we got it. We will copy this with headers, and we will save it as a CSV, or rather an Excel workbook, because we need to import that into Tableau. Save as, primary by country. There we go. So now we will open Tableau and we will import the data. First we'll take primary by country. Right, so we're going to create our first sheet from that. So first I would like to take like an aggregate value, like an overview of entire South Asia, right? I think that'll be very neat to keep like in the corner of the dashboard somewhere anchored. So we'll name this South Asia. And we will have the total cases, total deaths, full vaccinations, and the population in a table over here. So when we get this, we can have the sum, because when we created the table, we created it by country. So when you sum all of these rows up, it's going to give you the entire number for South Asia. So summing up everything over here is correct. Now I want to create something new, that is the percentage of full vaccinations from population and the infection rate and also the mortality rate. So for that we go to analysis, we click create calculated field, we'll name this mortality rate, we'll sum the total deaths divided by the sum of total cases. Cases, there we go. Oops, we forgot to add a bracket there. So add the mortality rate. I'll have the mortality rate next to deaths over here, so cases, deaths, and mortality rate. Alright, so this is a percentage, so we'll have to let Tableau know to show it as a percentage. So we'll take percentage, there we go, 1.42%, that's correct. Alright, next I'd like to take the infection rate. So for that we'll again create a new field and we'll call it infection rate, and for that we will divide the number of cases by the population. There we go. Now we'll take it next to full vaccinations, and the population I would like to have it on top. It's like the major number there. Alright, so we will tell Tableau to format it as a percentage with 2 decimals. Nice. So infection rate would take once again next to deaths, below deaths we'll have the infection rate and the mortality rate. Alright, and I would like to see how much of the population as a percentage has been fully vaccinated, so I will create a new calculated field for that as well. Percentage fully vaccinated, full vaccinations divided by population. Alright, we'll have it at the end. Once again, it'll be a percentage. And there we go. Wow, nice figure. 23% of the entire population of South Asia has been vaccinated, fully vaccinated. That's amazing news. We gotta keep it up. Next, I would like to have a comparison of full vaccinations broken down by country. So we'll create a new sheet for that. For that, we will take the vaccinations over here, the original vaccinations table, so we can have like the most granular form. So I would like to create a time series where we can see like how fast all the nations in South Asia vaccinate all their populations. So each row is based on the date. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a field, call it percentage fully vaccinated, and we're gonna the max up to that date. So max people fully vaccinated divided by max population. There we go. I'll click OK, and we'll take the date, the max population, and the location, and we'll create a time series just like this, and we'll have to set the year like this to the date, and there we have it. And why do we have spaces in between? Oh, we have more than 4,000 nulls, so we're gonna show data at we're gonna filter that data out, so we'll smooth it. Okay, there we go. Nice. So we'll see what these countries are. We're gonna label them. Alright, very nice. So Bhutan, Maldives and Sri Lanka has raced to the top with vaccinations. It makes sense, you see, because Maldives and I don't know much about Bhutan, but Maldives and Sri Lanka are tourist destinations. And if I'm not mistaken, the WHO passed a mandate saying that unless your population is like 80% or 90% fully vaccinated, we're not gonna approve your destination as a safe place, your country as a tourist destination or something like that. So it makes sense why Sri Lanka and Maldives are racing to the top to vaccinate a high percentage of their population because they need to open up. Tourism is like a huge part of the economy in these two countries, so it makes sense why they vaccinated all their people. It's to open up. Let's move on. So let's name this as percentage population. Let's say percentage fully vaccinated. Alright, let's move on. Next, I'd like to take the mortality rate, like how much of the cases resulted in deaths. So for that, let's take another data source, the most granular form, the primary sheet. We're gonna have to create another calculated field for mortality rate. You can take max total deaths or max of total cases. That'll be our mortality rate. So we can have that, the location, and yeah, we're gonna have that and the location. So we'll have it in a bar graph. We will change the order over here, and we will have this as a percentage. Alright, now we will label this. Okay, wow. So we can really see like the difference between countries when it comes to the mortality rate here. Afghanistan at the top and Sri Lanka the second highest, Pakistan third highest, Bangladesh fourth highest, and so on. And we will name this the mortality rate. Next, we can use a map. Alright, and using that map, we're going to take the number of cases for each location with the date, obviously. We're going to take total cases and we're going to take a map like this. We'll remove the date, right? We have a map with total cases. We can use the sum of new cases. That'll be more accurate, yeah? Sum of new cases, and we'll use that as our coloring scheme. And we'll take sum of new cases as the label, and also we'll name the country too. So to get the total number of deaths, also I'd like to keep it here. So I'd like to name this as total cases, and within brackets we'll put total deaths. And over here in these labels we'll put total deaths in brackets. We go to format, we go to numbers custom, and on the prefix we'll put open parentheses, and the suffix we'll put closing parentheses. And there we go. We have two decimal places. We'll remove those. There we go, we have it right. And I'd like to change the color to orange to depict like the infection, right? I mean, we need to make it as easy to understand as possible. So we'll use colors to our advantage as well. Red, yeah. Okay, red seems more suitable here for infections. Okay, so India is obviously with the since it has a very high sum of cases, it's obviously taking like a huge part of the spectrum, and the rest are like indistinguishable from each other because India is like sort of pulling it towards a huge extreme end. Well, that's how it is. There's nothing to do here, so let's leave it at that. Okay, so we have 4 visualizations here. Alright, now let's create the dashboard. New dashboard. We'll drag all of these things over here. Okay, I'd like to have this. Right. Oh, we need to put this on automatic, the range, very cool. On the right over here, yeah. And the map over here. Okay, we need to fit this to the size. Fit to width would be nice. Okay, I'd like to take the map down here and the percentage fully vaccinated over there, and this over here, and like to expand the map so we can have a better view of everything. There we go, we have it. And this seems to me like a really good visualization, but we are missing one more thing, that is the filter. Otherwise it's not interactive. So we'll name our dashboard COVID-19 in South Asia, and we will go back and we'll add filters. So we're not gonna add any filters for the entire South Asia, just gonna keep it fixed there. We'll add a filter to this. Let's add as a filter over here, and we'll take the range, range of dates, so anyone using it can select any range they want. Let's go to sheet number 3 and we'll add a range there as well, so they can sort of go back and forth and see whether the mortality range changes over time for each country. And over here we'll also add a date, so they can go back and forth and see how the number of cases change for each country over time. Alright, let's go to the dashboard and let's create a filter. Filters, date, there we have it. And we'll apply this to all the worksheets. There we go, sheet 3 and 4. Right, so now when we change the range, the entire thing changes. Very cool. Alright, I want one more thing. I want to be able to filter this by the country as well. So we're going to add that. So let's go and add location as a filter. Yes, we need all the countries. Thank you. Here too. Alright. Here too. Alright. There we go. Once again, insert the filter, location, and we will include this, apply this to all the worksheets. And there we go. Let's see whether it works. Boom, everything disappeared. Let's take Sri Lanka. There we go. So Sri Lanka has a mortality rate of 2.54% and this many cases and deaths. And wow, look at the percentage fully vaccinated. It's really great. So I remember Maldives was the second highest one. So let's click Maldives as well. So yeah, Maldives and Sri Lanka are racing to the top with percentage fully vaccinated, both being tourist destinations. They need to open up, so that's why they're doing it as per the WHO mandate, which is pretty cool. So alright, but the mortality rate, my god, look at the gap. This is like too much. Second highest mortality rate in entire South Asia is not good for Sri Lanka, obviously. So let's go back and see how the data changes for that. Alright, so it seems like Maldives started way earlier than Sri Lanka did in terms of full vaccinations. Obviously, I think Maldives depends more on tourism than Sri Lanka does. I think, I'm not very sure about that, so it makes sense. But the mortality rate, look, like all the way back in April 2021, the mortality rate doesn't seem that different, like a few decimal points difference, the mortality rate. But fast forward to somewhere around July, it starts to skyrocket, the mortality rate, and now we're at this. So, well, this filter really does help. Well, that is how you can play around with this dashboard. Do a full screen, and there it is. Well, that's gonna be the end of the visualization and also the end of the project COVID-19 in South Asia. Thank you very much for coming and watching this video. I really enjoyed this project. It took a lot of my time, but I really enjoyed it, and I really enjoyed going through all the data and especially the visualization. And I hope you guys enjoyed it as well, looking into it. I hope to make more like this, and I hope you stick around to see more stuff like this. So if you could subscribe to this channel, you will definitely see more things like this, because I'm not going to stop here. I'm going to be doing a lot more visualizations and analysis, leave a like. And if you have any suggestions, if I made any mistakes, if you have any better ways to do the stuff that I did today, make sure you mention it in the comment section below. And as always, thank you very much, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye for now.